One or two Manchester United fans getting in touch. Why did Danny scoff at the possibility of Jude Bellingham coming to Manchester United?
Because they're rubbish.
Was it a scoff?
Well, I'll give you a few reasons. You can walk into a club that are competing for the biggest trophies now. Why would you go to one that is only potentially on that table? Because they're not there. They're not in the Champions League. They're not pushing for the title yet. Why? I know it's a massive club. Of course I do. I'm not daft. You know, why would you? It might, if Liverpool don't get in the Champions League, it might discount them. Let's be honest about it. This is a young lad who's going to have the pick. You know, if anyone's going to fill Modric's boots at Real Madrid, who would you say could do it? It's him. I know, but when it comes to this iconic brand, the biggest club in the world, you still think they are? Let me give Simon, do you? Simon, you're advising Bellingham. United doesn't come in your conversation, does it?
Not really, no. Not really. I mean, but I'm looking at it from a football point of view, and my vision for Bellingham is seeing him playing at Liverpool. But it doesn't make the argument that Danny's making, or I would be making for Bellingham, which if you want to slot into a side that's capable of winning something, then maybe Liverpool are out of the equation as well. But they are at this moment in time because they've not been great this season. But the point is that I think he would be a lightning rod for Liverpool regeneration. And I think 100%. Playing for Klopp professionally for Jude Bellingham would be an enhancement of him
100%.
Far more than playing for Ancelotti.
Well, also Steven Gerrard's an idol of his, isn't he? And the fact is that Liverpool last season, we're only half a season in. Liverpool last season were 2 games away from greatness.
Let's focus, Simon, on Manchester United. They're going against Burnley tonight in the Carabao Cup. Now, of course, it's getting interesting now because you want to, if you want to go deep, this is the time to do it. So this is round 4 of the Carabao Cup. 8 o'clock kickoff against Burnley at Old Trafford. It's live on talkSPORT. How quickly, Danny, do trophies breed a winning mentality? Should a club like United be seeing greater value in the Carabao Cup more than ever before? The reason I ask you...
Yes is the answer.
Yeah. Last piece of silverware, the Europa League 2017 under Mourinho.
Yeah, I can only talk my personal experience. The first trophy we won under Julio was a League Cup. And what it did was it gave, obviously, belief and confidence, but it took that pressure off to then go on and win more. It just took that pressure off of getting the first one over the line in however many years it was. I can't remember. But, you know, when you just constantly, we've got to win things. We've got to win something. We've got to win something. We can't just be potential. We can't just be nearly there. We've got to win something. And that's what, when we won that first one, luckily, and it was luck, but on penalties, we then kicked on. It's just the belief system kicks in. You know, that confidence, collectively as well as individually. So, yeah, 100% trying to get that trophy.
Get it won.
Get it won. The challenges for Man United, they've crossed that Rubicon. They won the League Cup. They won the Europa League under Mourinho.
When was the last time they won something, Jim?
2017.
Yeah, they did. But what I'm talking about now is the involvement of Man United is that didn't kick them on. It didn't start them. And to be honest with you, with no disrespect intended, it took your club another 25 years, 20 years to win the Premier League. And Manchester United's model of operation previously was to be the poster boys of the Premier League, which included being the biggest winners of it. And so the League Cup will start. If they were to progress and to win the League Cup, it would suppress some arguments and advance others. His job is to put Manchester United up, rattling their sabres at Manchester City and Arsenal, and I suspect Liverpool once they regain their poise. That's his job. And a League Cup win, it's a win. It's a trophy. It'll quell some of the dissenting. It's a decent platform. But I don't think it fixes the problems. There's a lot of things going on at Man United at the moment. Look at what's going on over there. You've got players like Sancho that don't seem to be able to cope. They're being farmed off to Holland to get themselves together. Yeah. You've got an underlying assertion from Ten Hag that the mentality of the club isn't right, and he said that repeatedly, and that might flow into the narrative that's being advanced around Jadon Sancho, and I don't want to speak to that because mental health is an issue that needs to be addressed properly. Then you've got the Ronaldo debacle, you know, but you've also got some positives. You've got Rashford now, that's back in the groove, in whatever groove.
Flying.
Got Casemiro
You're
flying.
You're a fan of his now, Rashford?
No, I'm not a fan of his. I think he's a decent player. I've never been a detractor or an admirer. I've called it for what it is.
Right, but you can see what they're doing. You make a good point about Rashford. United now have triggered the 1 year option to extend his contract.
Well, that's just common sense,
the same as Dalot, the same as Fred to 2024.
But that's common sense.
You get to take up the option with De Gea. But you can see what they're trying to do.
But that's not common sense, is it? Because he's had his time.
But no matter, those 3 that I mentioned, Rashford, Dalot, and Fred, you 3 are staying longer term. But do you know what? Sir Alex announced his retirement in May.
Only a year, isn't it?
Sorry, mate?
It's only another year.
It gives them time.
It gives them time to look at it,
Sir Alex told us all he was out of there. and finish with football. In May 2013, United have won 3 major trophies since then.
Yeah, but
this is your biggest club in the world, the most iconic club of the lot.
Well, it is, but that doesn't mean that they're the biggest achievement.
Scandalous in the eyes of Manchester United fans.
That argument can be turned on its head by the very nature of Real Madrid's achievements. But I still put Manchester United as a bigger iconic brand in football and in the hearts and minds of those around the world. And the Madrid fans will suck that in and think that's nonsense.
Brand than Real Madrid.
I do.
No.
Now, I do. I think that they are. I think they have the capability to do things on a greater scale.
You mean financially, maybe?
Yes. But that's what I'm talking about, an economic powerhouse
and
an iconic imagery and a brand.
I'll tell you why they're not.
Not iconic.
Bellingham's going to end up at the Bernabeu.
He won't.
No, I don't think so.
Bellingham may well end up at the Bernabeu.
I'm not sure that's
what
right.
we've just heard after Danny's comment is that Bellingham, it's almost laughable to think he'd go to United.
But I think Bellingham, as a footballer, would benefit more playing in the Premier League than he would playing in La Liga.
Yeah, and he might want to come home. I think he could well end up at Liverpool. But anyway, we've gone off on a tangent there.
But why would he benefit more? Look at what Ronaldo did when he went to Real Madrid.
Everything goes through cycles, right? 30 years ago, I know it's a long time ago, but Barcelona hadn't won anything for years and years and years and years and years. Venables goes in there and wins the Spanish league for them, gets them to a European Cup final, which they lose to Steaua, didn't they? And ultimately, they go on and kick on, and they get a cycle of football that becomes better. United have got some serious competitors in the Premier League that possibly weren't there before. Arsenal were a very, very serious competitor, but Man City was something very unique, and so it changed the landscape. Liverpool have done it slightly differently, but notwithstanding that, they're a serious competitor. I think Man United's biggest problem is that they've picked bad managers at the wrong times. I don't mean bad managers in terms of capabilities. Mourinho was doing a hokey-cokey of half in, half out, not being up into Manchester, staying in a hotel, wanted to be back in London. Louis van Gaal was playing hide and seek with himself. David Moyes was never given a chance, really, when you look at the premise of that he was fired upon. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to me, was a standing joke of a management appointment.
But you now admit Mourinho was a bad choice.
Well, I think ultimately the way Mourinho operated was a bad...
You changed your tune on it.
No. I think you had to compare what he did against what the narrative was that he did. He won things with Man United. He put them second in the league. He won the Europa League.
Didn't win the league.
He won the league. No, he didn't. And what he wanted was certain players. And I don't think Mourinho did as much as he could have done. But I also don't think that they handled Mourinho properly. They allowed Mourinho...
the answer?
I don't know. What's the question? Is the question, are they going to win the league in the next 2 years? If that's the question, the answer is no.
Well, he's trying everything. He's brought in a performance psychologist. He's held meetings with the team behind this year's Tour de France winners to give the squad some fine margins. He's trying everything.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Use the tools. If you've got availability of using excellence around you from other sports and you feel that they're going to complement and enhance the group that you've got there, that's not for anyone to ridicule or to suggest it's a solution. It's just another set of tools. Get these players understanding who they're playing for.
Yeah.
That's the first job, because they seem to have lost focus on that.
And you're saying, Danny, there is a real need more than at any other time for United to win a cup like the Carabao Cup.
Well, I mean, I suppose United fans and maybe even the staff or the hierarchy would prefer to get in the Champions League than win the League Cup these days because of the financial rewards, and the Champions League does give you the ability to sign more players if you're playing in it regularly. So maybe the League Cup ain't as significant as maybe I thought at the beginning, comparing it to the Champions League, but both would be ideal.
Have both, can't you?
I do think United, there are some positives. I mean, this obviously the bad start, but then there does seem to be a shape and a formula taking place. And actually, even in some of the United games, they haven't played so well. There's been a tenacity about them. There's been the Martinez, Casemiro. They've added a bit. I
think Ten Hag's getting his shoulders back.
Yeah,
I think my analogy at the beginning of the season was ridiculed about poor fitting suits, but the point I was making was I don't think he looked the part, and so I subsequently questioned whether he was the part. I think he bottled it with Ronaldo, and he didn't deal with it. It's easy to say, but I'm sorry, when you're a big boy in a big job,
should have dealt with it.
You've got to deal with it.
You can't nail him for what he wears. I mean, look at that coat with the velvet collar.
Presentation is everything. People's perception of you. And no, of course not. In the end, if you can look like a guy that can't have a dustbin, but if you win, it doesn't matter, does it? But most people don't. They tend to look what they are, which is a winner.
Vincent Kompany was a winner. Is he going to be a winner tonight at Old Trafford with Burnley? We'll see.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.